so
we
have a really cool prospect today.
Okay.
Cool.
I mean,
yeah.
that's yep.
Well,
I have questions about that statement, but let's keep on moving.
there's been so many of these lately where it's just like you almost forget that they happen. Where you're like, oh yeah, there was a human orc. I forgot about that. Like there's so many different ones now, right? And it's not to take away, because we're gonna give him his due credit here in a minute.
Yes, absolutely.
There's a lot of them now. Like it seems like there's another new contender every day.
Would you say there's a whole Middle Earth of them?
It's getting to that point.
Okay.
Yeah, it's getting to that point. So we have the Human Orc, right?
Yeah.
I think his name is Rico. He's a tattoo artist from Brazil.
Sweet.
He's like 42 or 43 or something.
Man, I'd be intimidated getting tattooed by him.
You know what the funny thing is? When you do these things, you could be any age.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
You're timeless now.
You could tell me he's 45. You could tell me he's 20. Mm-hmm. Like, all of a sudden, you have no age anymore.
Although I will say, like, saying 80, it doesn't come to mind first. You know what I mean? It's one of those, like, if he makes it to 80, I'm super impressed.
Be very interested to see what this looks like as time goes on.
Oh, yeah.
But the problem is you'll never see what this looks like as time goes on, not because he's going to die or something. Like, well, that could happen.
I mean, at some point, yes, we all will.
But, like, it's more than likely just going to keep on rolling. Like, it'll be a completely different thing by then.
Yeah.
Like, it's already, like I was just telling you before we started this, like, this guy was like really hot for a minute in 2020. Like, people were putting out articles about this story and the human orc, and it's a great buzz phrase and all this shit. And then they just kind of stopped. But he's been doing more.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's gotten a lot more since then, which we'll talk about. But like it's kind of like your flavor of the minute, and then that's that. You had your minute. Get the hell out of here.
Like, it's a spectacle.
Go be an orc somewhere else.
It's a spectacle that, like, for most, I would say those articles and things like that are usually like to shock people that aren't in the world of it.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
You attract people that just want to observe something that's way outside of their norm. But that, like, when you see that, all you do is you usually see it and then move on.
Yeah, I know. Like, oh, that's ridiculous. Good luck getting the job now.
Yeah, and then leave your comment and then move on.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Those comments are, like, it's always the same dude.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like, it's always the same dude using the same part of his brain. For every one person that comes across the screen, it gets the same comments.
Good luck getting a job.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what about this tells you he could do this without money?
They think that it's in some back alley for free.
Well, you'd be dead if that was happening. But ironically, he did get a lot of this for free, but he's a tattoo artist, so we put that up front. He's married to a woman named Krishna, I think she's 25, 27, something like that. She's, I guess, known as Bat. I've never actually seen her until I went in looking into this.
Yep.
Like, maybe I'm missing something, but I have no real knowledge of her other than that she's a body mod artist, and much like our friend the Human Devil, Big Devil or whatever, she does all his body mods. So he didn't get any of these heavy mods until he was 35. He waited quite a while, which I always say is a good thing. Like, I will always say wait until your 30s, 40s, whatever, to get into that kind of stuff when you have a pretty good footing and good understanding of what you want. Yeah. By then, I think that if you don't, you're never going to.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? If you haven't figured it out by the time you're in your 30s, it's very rare that you're going to.
Yeah.
Seems like, anyway.
Yep, I would agree.
So anyway, I think 35 is a good age if you're going to do something like this to do that. Not saying I would necessarily, but his worst body mod, I had to do some digging because I wanted to have a lot here. I guess he got some hot iron branding on his calf, and it took 4 months to heal. I don't know what that looks like. I might be able to find a picture of that, but he has a widened septum passage, like nasal, so his nose is basically broader. Like, it's almost like more like a pig nose or something.
He can breathe like so deep.
Yeah, exactly.
No snoring for him.
We'll talk about. He did not cut his ears off. He went a different route, which I actually kind of like the look for what he's doing. Like, if he had got rid of his ears, I probably would have been like, why? Orcs have ears. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
this doesn't track. You're not an orc.
Yeah, you're not an orc at all.
What are you talking about?
This is a ruse. I've been tricked.
I've been tricked.
So he cut his ears in some way. He had them amputated, so they're kind of like spiked or whatever. Like they got a different shape to them, and they look cool for what they are. Like my big problem with this, like before we go on with what he's done, is like if you're gonna be a human orc, do human orcs get like? Do they get like traditional tattoos and stuff? Because he's got some like trad tattoos on his arms and stuff where you're like, I could kind of see an orc rocking like some punker style tattoos.
Yeah, some like rancid style punk, to blast over kind of.
I kind of don't
come
come down as hard on it as I would with like Black Alien Project.
Yeah, that's got to be like futuristic-y or something.
Right. Like,
or very organic.
Yeah, like I don't come down as hard when this guy goes off the beaten path for some reason because it's got that punk vibe to it.
Yeah, it really does.
It's an odd one.
Yeah. You know what it is? It's that guar, I think, has made it so that we're...
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like guar has really softened this to us.
That could be the thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's got some huge-ass tusks that have been attached to his bottom, like, mouth.
Okay, so... That
please feel free to put some sense back in here. We're off on a limb here.
I mean, like that's the one where I mean I don't even know how you would mount it, to be honest. But like
that would be anyone's guess. I'm sure no one knows until they do it.
It just seems like I get the human orc thing. I can understand it.
You're an orc.
Yeah, I get it.
Transspecies. He's been in one of the articles I found. He's been what was it called? He's been titled transspecies. When I read things like that,
in a species that doesn't exist.
When I read things like that, I go, "Who titled him that?"
Yeah.
Did he title him that?
I mean,
fine,
pretty baller.
But like, is it official?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out.
Is there documentation?
Is this an official record on this?
Yeah.
Like, what is happening here? You're transspecies?
I mean, hey, why not? Biologist might. He's got enough orc DNA in him now.
I'm not sure we know enough about orcs to use that term. So,
like
brazenly,
the tusk thing. Like, I mean, it's one of my big problems with orcs in general is I don't get how you eat.
Well,
like,
that's been a big problem for him.
Yeah, of course.
Something I was going to mention is his tusks, which by the way only cost €400, which is like when I read that I was like,
I might get some tusks.
That's completely reasonable.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you try and get tusks for less than €400.
Yeah, there's no Walmart tusks.
Like, I've spent similar amounts of money on jewelry. Like, from when I read that, I was like, it really only costs that much to put tusks in your mouth?
Well, I mean, maybe the insertion of them might be different, but the actual physical cost of the tusks might just be $400.
Yeah, that seemed way too low. Yeah. Like, that should be thousands of dollars.
One would think
currency.
I would assume if I was getting 2 tusks, I'd be spending over $2,000.
Oh, easy.
Yeah,
like that would be easy. Like I would be thinking this is going to be a life-changing expense.
Yeah.
Like and that's what it's severity-wise. You're doing something that's incredible.
Yeah.
Right. Like it should cost you a bit too.
Yeah.
But anyway,
you're paying for their skill too, right?
His tusks only cost €400, but they've deranged his life to some large degree where
you don't say
it's hard to eat and drink by his own admission.
Yeah,
but he's still going to get bigger ones, which to me is like that crossing a line for me. And I've talked about that line of like when life gets more difficult than it should be. That's where I'm packing it up.
Yeah.
I don't want my life to suffer as a consequence of my interests. It's kind of like if you're a drug addict and you get into the hard stuff and now you're on the road.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't want to go that far off into my thing. And I'm always fighting with that line too. Like it's really for this guy, like it's hard to pull yourself back from the edge. Mm-hmm. Like self-control is really hard when you're just doing what you love and you have
for the love of the game. Becoming an orc for the love of the game.
You have the funds to do it. Yep. You've got a wife. You've got a daughter, which she has a daughter who's he would be proud of if she did something like this one day, he said. Like he would encourage, but he's not going to push her to, but like he would be more than fine with that. So this guy has a career that he can make good money at forever because tattoo artists make good money.
Yep.
And he has a wife that supports him. He's got a daughter that's good with it. There's all kinds of pictures of them together and they're a happy family and whatever. His mother doesn't love it.
I can understand.
She's not a big fan. She barely tolerates it. But I guess his dad is kind of like, eh. He says that much like I've said, he gets nothing but positive comments in person and nothing but negative comments online.
Yeah,
There
I
we
could
go
see it.
again with the fucking people, assholes hiding online, right?
Yeah.
This is a very common thing. If you think you'd say that to him in person, you most likely wouldn't.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Right? Like, it never
Becomes
happens.
a different game when you see him in person.
No one has ever come in here and been rude about anything I do.
No.
Like body mods. It's never happened.
No.
But those same people might online.
Fair.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Not to say that I'm going as far as him, but
I do think also there's something about seeing a photo of somebody and then seeing them in person. In person, our brain can register them as a human way better. Like, and we get empathy.
I guess so. There's
because of
some
it.
body language missing too.
Yeah, oh yeah. Like we don't really like 2D images, and in that respect, like we don't like that stuff. Our brain doesn't. We have that uncanny valley thing. Whereas like if you get into a room with him and you chat with him and you get to have all the physicality, even the other senses like smell and all that stuff, it's like your brain can kind of calm down and be, you know, accept them for a person rather than like an entity. Because even as I'm saying stuff about the tusks and stuff, I know I would feel different if I just sat in a room with him.
I'm sure he's pretty normal.
Yeah.
It's something like, I'm sure if you talk to him, it's much less extreme than you would think. Right?
Yeah.
I'm sure he's not grunting at you.
I
You know what I
mean,
mean?
come on,
It
sell
would
it.
be in character.
Yeah.
And I would have to respect
He'd
that.
have a battle axe
Be like,
for some
well,
reason.
you know,
Yep.
he is an orc.
He is an orc. I mean,
This
what are
is
you gonna
his
do?
custom.
Yep.
He's transpecies. He's
These are their customs.
yeah. We have to observe their customs, and we
Yes.
don't want to change his culture.
No.
But
No.
anyway, yeah. What was it? Was I going on about his? He's getting off a little too far into his own interests, and he has all the financial structure he needs, and he has family support, and you can do whatever you want. Then I'm in the same boat where like anything I do now is only helping me.
Yeah.
Right. So when your vices start helping you, then you really have to be aware of
Yeah,
them.
you got to be cautious.
Because, like, now I make more than I lose on what I do with myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's almost become currency for me.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Oh, for sure.
And it gets to that point, and you're just like, well, I guess I could just fucking jerk off forever, right? Where it's just like everyone loves everything you do.
Yeah.
And if they don't, it only helps you too.
Yeah.
And then it's like you're in this dangerous spot where the more you do, the better you. And it's like
The better the outcome,
whoa,
no matter what.
maybe I better dial it back because I could get really too far on this.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, it's like if you can suffer through it to get the tusks and all that, man, yeah, okay, I guess. It just seems like I've had that thing though when I've seen orcs in like video games and stuff too.
Yeah.
I've always just thought like, what the hell do you use those for? I know warthogs and stuff do it, but like, what the hell are you using this thing for?
I don't know what they're used for. They look
just
kind
seem-
of cool.
They do look cool, but like, you know, I just that someone explained it to me. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's something.
I'm sure this guy would have the better time explaining it to you than I would. But
More
I want
likely.
to say real quick here, and I don't want to always bring up the Black Alien Project, but like he's been in the zeitgeist forever now.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's always kind of popular. Do you think people are secretly attracted to him? Like is he just a good looking dude?
I think
'Cause, like
the
this, like I
concept-
said, this guy was around for a little bit, but you're not hearing much about him right now.
Well, we don't have the hope that orcs are real, but we do have the hope that aliens are. So I think anytime you get alien involved, it's
Yeah.
this like extra lane that opens up to like possibility. Whereas like orc is kind of like, yeah, that's cool in those books, right? Or
Yeah.
that game, right? But like the alien thing, I think it just sparks a little bit of like more mystery in terms of like maybe we do look like that eventually or whatever, or they do.
There's something going on there. I've been working on this thought for a while since we've started these. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm really, really racking my brain over when we're doing these. It's
Yeah.
like, why? I don't understand.
I just think he
But then
nailed
again,
it with
we're talking
alien.
about him again.
Yeah, exactly. It's doing it. You know? I think the term alien associated with him really helps what he's doing.
So if you're trying to trend,
Yeah.
term yourself an alien.
If you want clout, go the alien route.
Go the alien route, not the orc route.